Welcome to the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of highlights from this past week. Comedy, politics, current events, and pop culture. All completely uncensored.
Brought to you by deepdiscount.com. Check out their Christmas sale going on right now and make sure you enter the code Cumia at checkout for your 10% off. What got you into comedy? Was it a speech impediment, a lump on the head?
I don't have a finger. No, I wish it was something crazy. Like, I don't know. You can't see, but I don't have feet.
Club foot.
No, it's, I don't know. I just wanted to do it. You know, you're like, people tell you you're funny growing up or whatever. You should go do it. Then you go. And I moved to, so I was like going to try it. College wasn't, that wasn't going to go anywhere.
Comedy scene over there in
Nashville. I moved to Chicago first.
Oh, you did?
I started in Chicago, then New York, and was here for about 9 years. And
when did you go to Chicago? Pretty young, huh?
Yeah, I was 23, so it was like 2003.
That's a ballsy move for
yeah, but I am as a dumb kid that's going to I'm going to go back to moving trucks. Like, I'm going to drive it. Like, when this all comes crashing down, I will go back to manual labor.
Yeah.
And I delivered FedEx was my first job in New York.
That was your first?
Like, when I got here, like, I was good. They would call me every Christmas and try to get me to come back.
That in New York looks like a pain in the fucking ass. Load up those hand trucks.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, upstairs or up the fucking elevator and every floor getting out.
Double park. You're always going to get tickets. Manhattan's very easy to get around because it's a grid.
Yeah.
And then Queens and Brooklyn were nuts. And it was an old map. You would do like a
extra map.
Yeah. And you would do that. And Brooklyn, Queens was like, they would just throw me in there and you're like, dude, I don't even understand.
What is this shit?
Like every
there's certain areas you just can't go into.
I'm just like driving
I
down.
accidentally drove into this fucking rape. I'm at the corner of Rape Avenue and Assault Street.
I would be on like Malcolm X Boulevard being like, is this good?
Yeah. How many deliveries
cool?
here?
Did he like us?
Why is my truck empty when I came out?
Just go.
What has just happened? So you went the manual labor route.
Yeah.
I understand that. I think it's kind of good. Not when you're doing it, but when you have done it and you're in entertainment, it's kind of good to know how shitty that is.
Yeah. It was like regular. The worst job I ever had. Like, I had a job that was on Dirty Jobs. Recycling tires.
Yeah, that looked bad.
And that was during when Ford got all those tires from Ford Explorer. They all got like recalled. So this was I was in the boom of recycling tiring, which has only been like one time. It's usually never good at all.
And what, they threw them in that big grinder thing?
Yeah, we drive them down from Nashville to Atlanta, and they had a big grinder thing, and you would do it. There was one guy, because it really was such a big time for this business to get these tires.
Who knew?
And this one guy took all these tires, but he didn't want to pay to get them grinded or whatever, so he just went and dumped them in a cave until he got caught, and then we had to go in that cave and get all those tires back.
Tires out of
mud in them. And that's where mosquitoes lay their eggs.
Oh, man, those tires, because the little layer of water in there, forget about it. And how hard is it to get that water out of that tire? It's impossible.
Oh, it's impossible.
Impossible.
You just don't even...
how you could do this move.
Yeah. That's a rookie move if you try to get water out of that tire. It's a rookie move.
You just point at the rookies. Hey, Rook.
That's how you get
over here, you daffy bastard.
You get hazed with going, hey, could you get this water out of this tire?
It's the whole day.
5 days later.
He just wastes all his goddamn time. That sounds like a real job, though.
That was like, that was like a real job.
Manual labor.
Yeah, that was like, you would bounce it off your stomach and shit. I don't know.
What were you doing when? You were a waiter when you hooked up with your wife.
Yeah,
which is kind of like, that's not quite. Yeah, look, you're a great guy, but that's not quite the occupation that a girl goes like, "Ooh, I'm set."
Well, when she's doing it, they are.
Yeah, but when she's doing it, she probably wants a guy at
a table
doing
sitting there. That's typically right. We just started going, but then I think I did whatever these other jobs, and then we were still together, and then I moved to Chicago to start comedy, and then here in New York.
Did you have to wait tables in Chicago for a little while?
I did. A place called Jake Melnick's. We turned that. It used to be another restaurant, and it changed and to more like a sports restaurant, and then I waited tables there for 2 years, and then I still go back there.
Really had your eye on the dream, didn't you?
I had it all focused.
Because it just seems so futile when you're trying. Like, oh God, I'm not making any headway. I'm still waiting tables. I could have done that back in Tennessee.
That was like I was just starting comedy, so like I would you're just going to do your joke. Like you don't. It's when you're so nervous. Like you don't
have
even
friends that were comics or anything.
I had a buddy I moved with, my buddy Michael, and like we moved up there, and then you just made friends to get people I worked with at the club, and then you just meet comics. And I was always kind of a guy that would just go. Like if someone's like, "Let's go," because some guys like, "Let's move to New York," and I was like, "All right."
That's fucked up.
And I just moved in here, and then started at Boston Comedy Club.
Boston Comedy Club here, yeah.
And used to hand out flyers on the corner of McDougal.
I've seen those people.
20 degrees. And that's the moments I realize I remember thinking, like, I just want to not be doing this.
Right.
That was
Get
brutal.
me past this step.
I want past this step.
Out of this dumb
standing,
step.
Freezing.
Comedy show.
What a great comedy. Hey, guys.
Live comedy show, you fucking...
I know.
I'm terrible. I don't even take.
I have this energy. Hey, we had a great comedy show. Who would ever want to go? Who's like, oh, that sounds enticing.
Most people don't know it's the comics handing that out.
Yeah.
They think it's just, the club or something puts people out there to hand this out. So you pass these people and they're like that. And you're like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's the poor fucking guy that's going to be up on stage later.
And that would be the worst because you would sell them on the show, then they see you.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey.
You're the guy from the street that sold this shit. How funny could you possibly be?
I just paid to, like, you?
Yeah. I paid to see the guy on the street.
You have to do this? And now and you're just standing there. That was like that was 2004. That was like the hate of that Boston because that was like the Burr, Patrice. Like they did their HBO one night stands. Like, so I got to watch like all those guys come like in like it was an amazing time to be like
when did you start not having to worry about that second job?
When I got married and that helped because then she was working, so I was able to I did some temp stuff like when I first got married, but it wasn't until probably 2008 maybe or 9 before I started was at least making where it looked like I was making back to my waiting table days,
right.
Still nothing good, but still
pay some bills and things like that. Yeah. God, it's such
that's a funny thing though. It's you want because my wife's always made the money. And so it's your whole goal is once you just want to be I got to get back on top. I got to have some kind of leverage.
Right.
We have before you're just she's supporting your stupid dream. And she has that, you have to ask her for anything. And then you're just my guy, I just got to get to that where I can get back on top and be like a dude,
Oh boy, she has got you over a fucking barrel as far as,
if
things didn't work out, and I'm not saying, oh, God bless you kids, just have your marriage and fun. But boy, if things do go awry, she can say, oh yeah, I was the one supporting him as he got this.
Should I not have said that
thing? Probably
not on a microphone. I should have said it.
Yep.
Oh boy.
My
cut to a court case in 10 years and they pull this up. They pull your picture of the cowboy up and then they show this. And there's no reason for the cowboy picture, but they just do it. It's fun.
Trying to see which one is more tragic. My ex-wife decided she was going to pull that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I was tending bar while he was doing this radio thing, and I was helping. You just stop it. Yeah. Oh, good, you worked. That deserves fucking $2 million, you bitch. You bitch. Yeah, see, I still have it.
Still feel it. I mean, look, I get it, dude. I never understood, divorce is I always this is the naive, but
you're a more just killer kind of guy.
I just think it makes it cleaner.
It is cleaner. It's less sorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I got to make sure my wife doesn't die now. I've said I'm just saying they're going to come to this quick.
Yes. Some people from watching Forensic Files and stuff. I know some people that it's I wonder if he did something.
Yeah, well, that's got to be I guess if you killed, that would take over your whole world.
What an ultimate decision to make there. Yeah, that's got to just now be you just, what am I going to do? I killed somebody!
She's
Not
looking.
like just from the beginning of your day till your night terrors.
I
You're
think-
just
Yeah, I think
completely
so I'll think about like when you walk around Manhattan, like how many people do you think you walk by people that have killed people?
oh, man.
Like, do you think it's like a lot, or do you think it's like maybe once,
a
maybe
freaky...
like just
Yeah.
like you're just walking? Like, who has actually? Is it? I don't know the percentage. So is it like a ton? Is it not? I mean, there's no way it's a ton because otherwise, like there's just this many people.
Or maybe people that just kill people and then, never kill again. There was a reason and they got away with it and they're just walking around.
I think it was you would have had to do it a long time ago.
Yeah, that would
You could
be
have done it, and I mean, now it's just too hard.
people that have done it and then maybe gotten out of jail
Yeah,
or then people that just waiting for the next victim, looking around.
yeah.
Well, that's
and you just
creepy.
go, "Hey, buddy."
There you are. You look him right in the face.
You don't know. Hey, buddy, do you know where Penn Station is? Like, you
He'll
just
kill
ask
this
him.
mother. He's like, I'm just going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
What
You
happened?
dumb, goofy. This guy's great.
Jesus, that's why you just don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, you keep your head down and
Head
just
down.
mind your own business.
Don't talk
That's what
to
he would say.
anybody.
Mind your own business. That's
Right.
right when he would, before he kill you, he would tell
Yeah.
you should have mind your own business.
Mind
You're
your
like,
own
you
business.
should have given me that advice way earlier before I got to this point.
We used to talk about the old ruse here in New York where someone would come up to you and go, hey, what time is it? And as you're going like this and you're going to give them the time, you just, all of a sudden, you wake up and like you're in the hospital and like it was cold out.
Yeah.
And now like there's 4th of July decorations up in the hospital. And you're like, what? Last I remember.
Yeah.
And they just blindside you in the fucking, and then you're down and done. Like, I don't do anything. People ask me for the time. I run away.
I had a
I
guy
don't do anything for anybody.
when I first moved here, I was going to Brooklyn, and I used to fly out of Long Island's airport because the
Oh, yeah.
Southwest was out of there. So you go there
MacArthur.
to Nashville, MacArthur. So you take the train. I remember one time, instead of going in the city to get the train where you should, I was like, oh, it stops here in Brooklyn. And this, I was like, that's like a shortcut. And
No.
I'm walking. I get off the subway. I'm like walking with my dumb big bag, like just like, man, everybody's so
I
nice.
should count my
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
See how much money I have.
And a guy came up and asked where he could get a Mountain Dew, and clearly he would know where he could over me. And I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe that store over there.
Oh, no.
And then nothing happened. I'm building up, but he left. But I think that's the closest. Something had to be. I mean, look, maybe that guy is weighing the Mountain Dews. I'll never know.
Right.
And he didn't know where to
Maybe
get one.
something
And he
tipped him off
thought,
like this isn't the time. or
Something's
person.
not. Yeah.
Right. He might have saw something behind you, or someone watching, a witness
Guy.
or something.
Mountain guy drinking a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, drinking a Mountain Dew.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. The Anthony Cumia Show airs live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in glorious high-definition video, exclusively at anthonycumia.com.
Every girl at Fox News is stunning. Just stunning. I know it's a calculated thing over there. They don't just have beautiful girls that apply for these jobs, and they're like, oh, wow, this girl's, what a resume. What a resume this girl has. And look at it, coincidentally enough, she's beautiful. I bet there's more qualified girls that are a little homelier over there.
Even Kennedy got hot once you got there. She was never hot on MTV.
You know what? She had that Lisa Loeb thing going on. It was around the same
A little
time.
bit, yeah.
If you were into that geeky thing, because who'd they have? They had the black. What was her last name? Brown.
Julie Brown.
Julie Brown. They had the black
Downtown.
Julie Brown, the white Julie Brown. Oh, is that her during MTV days?
No way.
Look at you! No way. She, dude, she had a pretty good following when she was over there at MTV.
Oh, yeah.
People thought, they liked that kind of geeky, nerdy chick thing that was going on. She pulled it off,
Yeah.
and now she still does. I see what that, like, she's got a tat on her ankle, and it just says, she's a goer. That's what it says to me. Oh, my God, is that her on MTV? Come on. Wow, I never thought I'd say this, but some girls just do get better with age. Isn't that something?
And she's not a goer. I think she was like a virgin till she was 27, right? And
That's what I heard.
Her
Same.
husband.
It's a prude. Oh, shut up. She's not gay like you. Yeah. No, she looks great.
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly, Keith.
Let's say you were at Fox News.
I just was.
And let's say you were in the bathroom.
I was.
And let's say you had a problem with your ass. And you needed, like, something wet to go, like, clean your ass. So you came out of the stall and you were wetting stuff at the sink with your pants down. Which would be the least, who would you least want out of all the Fox women to walk in and see you standing there with your pants down trying to clean your ass with wet toilet paper?
All right. First, I have to step in here into your little scenario.
Okay.
Because if that happens, and I think every guy can agree, it's happened at some point or another. You need a little liquid refreshment.
Well, apparently it did happen to somebody from this network.
Oh, gee, I wonder who that was.
Gavin,
All
would
right.
you like to step inside and tell Mr. Cumia
now
your
it
story?
makes perfect sense. Gavin McInnes, please take a seat, unless you have irritable anal syndrome or something. Take a seat. And this, I should have known. I should have known when Keith was saying that. So, Gavin, you were at Fox News. The scenario that Keith just blurted out happened.
Much worse.
Much worse.
And just to be clear here, I'm madly in love with Kimberly Guilfoyle. If my wife died in a plane crash and Kim called me to console me, I would stop crying immediately and invite her over.
Kimberly is very attractive.
I've written tomes about how, and I like her now more than when she was young.
Yeah, there she is.
I like the fucking crow's feet.
She has like more raven black hair now too.
Oh, and it goes on for hours.
She looks like a Disney villainess.
Yes.
So
So I walked into the makeup room. This is just to convey how special she is. I walked into the makeup room like, hey, is there any what? And then it's like seeing the queen.
Yeah.
She was there getting her makeup done, and everyone's like, what are you doing here? And I went, oh, and I walked backwards out. So that was already... That's how high up she is. Just doing that is terrible. So anyway, I go into my stomach's a little upset. I'm hungover and I did Adderall.
now they have unisex bathrooms over there.
Correct.
It's just restroom. Now the door's locked.
The doors do lock.
All right.
Some
Continue.
fucking idiot contractor put a lock in that on both sides it treats it like you're inside.
Oh, so if you just turn the knob.
Believe me, I knew this was going to be carnage, and I watched that deadbolt go.
Oh, no.
Like a hawk. So anyway, I sit down and just barf out of my ass. Like lettuce, tomato. It smelled horrible, but not just shit, like dead bodies. It was just, because it was bile and
all kinds of
and
good
just
stinky stuff. Right.
2 days of shit.
Wow.
And so I do a courtesy flush, and then it's reeking up, and I think, I don't want them to hear like 10 flushes.
Onto something, sure.
So I go, I'm going to save the next flush. And then I'm still barfing, still lettuce everywhere. And then I'm wiping my ass and it's bleeding.
Oh, my God. You are a disaster in here. Salad shooter ass.
So it's green. It looks like Jaws' stomach. There's a license plate, an old tire, a report card.
Gavin came up from Southern waters. Little Kittner boy spilled out all over the floor.
So I have my pants like
Gavin, not shy to demonstrate.
And I'm like, oh, this is getting disgusting. I'll go over to the sink, and it's a handicap crapper. So the toilet is there, and the sink is way over here, and I'm putting freezing cold.
Now, these aren't stalls or anything either. This is a bathroom. It's a giant bathroom. So when that door opens, there's the toilet, there's the sink, there's the whole thing. It's not like you could have, because I was going to say to Keith, when that happens, what you do is you listen and you take that shot. You get everything ready, you run out, you wet the paper, and then back into the stall and do your shit.
Yes.
But you're
I
out.
got a deadbolt lock.
I hear you.
Man, I could fuck a baby if I want.
All right.
So as I'm sitting there like, ooh, putting the freezing cold water on like my prolapsed anus, it's like hanging out of me like an elephant's trunk, and I'm just like, ooh. And then I thought, wouldn't it be funny if Kimberly Guilfoyle, the most beautiful woman in the world, walked in right now? And then I went, that's not, no.
Oh, no.
She comes storming in because she's late. So she's
always late for something. She's an important gal.
She comes ripping into the room, carrying a dress that she's about to put on. Now, because I'm not sitting there, right, going, uh-oh, she keeps coming in because she doesn't see me at first.
Oh, no.
And so she gets hit with the smell.
Oh, no.
And then she looks down, and there's still the lettuce there from, because I remember I saved that flesh.
It's the most embarrassing thing that could happen to somebody.
And then so she's like, boom the nose, boom to the eyes. And then she looks over, and I'm like, and I just made sounds. I think I just went like, oh. And then she goes, oh, my God. Like, I'm sorry, and you're disgusting at the same time. Like, oh, my God. And then I heard, and then I closed the door like, and then I flushed it, and I had to laugh. And so as she leaves, I hear like, oh, yeah. She's
just
still
horrified.
making like Muslim sounds all the way out of the
call
building.
to prayer going on as she's left the disgusting bathroom.
So she's like, oh, and she leaves, and then I'm just like, oh, here we go, flush. Like, I can never look her in the eyes again. I wandered out. The sound guys, the Jack and everyone, they are in tears. They have tears pouring down their face, laughing.
Do you think she told anyone?
Well, I texted Greg.
Of course she did.
I texted Greg Gutfeld, and I said, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking the worst thing in the world, and then I wrote, God is a cruel dick with a shitty sense of humor or something like that. And he goes, I've had nightmares like that in the past.
Yeah.
And then like when he did the 5, about an hour later, he goes, wait, that happened? I thought you were kidding.
Oh, no, it really, he thought it was a joke, right? Yeah, nothing like that could really happen.
It's the worst thing in the world. I mean, honestly, if I was beating off, it would be like 5% worse, but you're still in the million zone.
You're right in there. She's your dream girl, and she sees you at your worst.
Worst. I mean, you don't want your wife seeing you like that.
No. That'll ruin a marriage right there. Take the magic out of it. You don't dump in front of your wife or anything like that?
No, we have separate bathrooms.
I hear from couples that just, I take a shit, the door's open. It's like you just pretty much throw any romance right out of your fucking marriage.
Every time you fart around your wife, a blowjob loses its wings.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of what you missed this week because you're too damn cheap to pay for it.
Remember the Ashley Madison thing? That was one of our sponsors back in the O&A days. AshleyMadison.com. You're looking to cheat? You want to hook up with women that want to cheat? Well, they don't exist. So we're going to make up a bunch of people, and you're going to sign up and give us money, and that's pretty much what happened. I think there was something like millions of dudes signed up, and like 20 girls. It was really ridiculous. But this guy, wow. And this is some of the damage this shit did. They remember the big hacking. I guess people had hacked the Ashley Madison site, got a bunch of names. 32 million saw their dirty little secrets exposed to the world. Weeks later, Mr. Brown, David Brown, 55, took a medical leave of absence and was replaced by an acting superintendent. This guy was... What did he do for a living?
School superintendent.
Oh, right, there it is. A New Jersey district school superintendent. Lost his job, his wife, his mind, and possibly his freedom. It was the blaze and personal meltdown. Oh, he set something on fire. I can't even fucking read this story.
His garage.
Oh, his garage. He lit his garage on fire.
And himself a little bit.
What the fuck? They found the detached garage engulfed in flames when the firefighters arrived. Mr. Brown was lying outside suffering from numerous injuries. Investigators believe Mr. Brown had used an accelerant to start the blaze. The downward spiral accelerated on the same day as the suspected arson. He was placed on paid administrative leave. 2 weeks later, he resigned from his $167,500 a year job. Ouch. As school boss, officials said it was in the best interest of both parties to end the employment relationship. Why would, maybe for the fire and shit, but not just because he wanted to get laid. Poor guys. It appears he was pressured to quit because his online antics, it's an antic if you're trying to get laid, to a work-issued device. Oh, a work-issued device. So here it is. His phone was given to him by the company that he worked for at the school, and he used it to sign up to Ashley Madison, and they say, well, it's a work-issued device. What a cop-out that is. On November 4th, Mr. Brown was charged with arson, and on November 23rd, his 14th wedding anniversary, his wife, Monica, the superintendent in Upper Saddle River, filed for divorce. Wow, this guy's life just came the fuck apart. You ever see your life come apart like that? Holy shit. Fuck. The Ashley Madison website promised risk-free cheating, but that's not what happened to Mr. Brown. Police, firefighter, and education officials were tight-lipped last week, refusing to comment on neighbors' online statement that Mr. Brown superficially slit his wrists before setting the blaze to his historic circa 1737 home. 1737. The house was there since 1737, and because this guy wanted to fucking cheat on his wife all those years, all those historical events that happened, and then he's like, man, my wife has left me. Fucking light it up. What a nut. God damn, historic. God damn, man. Mr. Brown's departure, that's it. She declined to elaborate. 3 months severance pay, righteous bucks. A source familiar with the melodrama told the Post Brown had an Ashley Madison account and self-reported to both his wife and the Board of Education. Why would you self-report? There's 35 million people there. Take a shot that maybe they won't find you, you know? Or lie. I do it. I hope everybody understands that this is a family with 2 young children in a small community, and they deserve their privacy. Oh, this poor bastard. Not only that, he's out of work, and any money he has and a house or anything, it all goes to her. Boy, I bet he regrets. You think? You think he regrets signing up to Ashley Madison? I bet he didn't even get laid off of it.
And he didn't have to blab about it. No one would have found out.
No one would have found out. He self-reported. Hi, I'd just like to let you know I was trying to fuck some other women on this site. Hi, boss. Yeah, I was trying to fuck other women on a website. Can I still keep my job?
He probably didn't know how it worked. So he's just sitting at home like, my name's on the list. My wife's going to read the list and find my name, and it's going to be over.
It's always better to admit to something before someone finds out. Is it? Not in this fucking case, it's not. Oh, as a kid, I learned to just shut the fuck up. If you could blame it on someone else, do it. I broke a wall clock once. I just smashed it on the floor. I wanted to see what was inside. And then I realized I'm going to get fucking screwed for this. So we had a dog, and I just took mud on his paws and put it up on where the clock was. And then it smashed on the floor. And, oh, did he get a beating. Dad came home, and I'd see Dad beating the dog, and I'm just like, better you than me, you fucking German Shepherd piece of shit.
Didn't you light fires in the woods and blame it on other kids?
Blamed it on the Negroes. At, I believe, 6 years old. I was 6 years old. There was a hill. It was called Beauty's Hill. It was in the EL development in Elwood. And me and Joe, my brother Joe, who was, if I was 6, he was either 7 or 8 at that point, would take a matches, a lighter, no fucking lighter, what, a Zippo. What did we just get back from the Nam? He took matches and would light the dry spots of grass. It was very dry. And they were, brown spots of grass, and we would light it, and then Joe would stamp it out. And, of course, as a kid, you want to see how big you could get it before you stomp it out. And, the panic when we realized that we weren't making any headway on this stomp. It just started, and it was all over the place. The smell of the smoke of burning dry grass, it was horrifying. So this 6 and 7 or 8 year old kid with this now blazing inferno on this hill, we run to a house and a woman opens the door and just sees this giant fire in front of her house, like across the street, and two kids standing there. And we go, "Do you have a hose?" We're going to fight the fire ourselves because we've seen The Little Rascals so many times. And she's just like, "Oh, my God." So she calls the fire department. They come there, and then the fireman came over, and he picks me up. "Sure, I remember your little supple bottom still had ashes on it." And he picks me up, and he's like, "So, what happened here?" And I was like, "Two Negroes lit the hill on fire." And he's like, "All right, guys, get in the truck." Yeah, I did. Sorry. That's what I did. My dad, oh boy, he was always talking about the Negroes. And I just thought it would... I think I thought more so that I wouldn't get in trouble with my dad. Like, he would buy it. He'd believe it. If I said that. I wasn't trying to get anyone in trouble per se, but by saying that, I knew my dad would go, fucking figures, instead of thinking, really? You and your brother fucking did this, didn't you? So, and I don't even remember how it ended. Maybe I was sexually assaulted, and I can't remember what happened. That's why whenever I smell leaves burning, I bleed from my ass. I don't know. Not true. Not true.
The Anthony Cumia Show.
DeepDiscount.com, a huge supporter of this program, holding their Christmas sale right now. Make your holiday shopping easy this year by going to DeepDiscount.com. At DeepDiscount.com, you're always going to find a great selection and those low prices on DVDs, Blu-rays, video games, Blu-rays. He needed the money. Video games and more. What's easier than the DVD as a gift, isn't it? It's the easiest gift ever. You wrap it. People don't know what it is. Yeah, they do. But they're excited about it. Come on. You buy it, boom, your shopping's done. Going on right now, the prices and deals are lower than ever before. Just go to deepdiscount.com. You're going to find everything you're looking for right there at your fingertips. And may I suggest that there's a little movie called Star Wars coming out next week. You might have heard of it. You can't go wrong buying Star Wars fan in your life. The other movies in the series, maybe. I don't know. They don't know other movies even exist, probably. I bet that's true. I bet they're just like total Star Wars. Get them something else. Get them The Godfather, for the love of God. Maybe they don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have it on VHS. Maybe you're going to be a hero this year by giving some of the great Star Wars stuff, all at deepdiscount.com. As always, free shipping on all orders over $25. No membership needed. And remember to enter that code Cumia at checkout for 10% off. Deepdiscount.com's Christmas sale.
This is the Legion of Skanks podcast. This is the Legion of Skanks podcast.
I had a guy actually knock me out that I actually had a crush on. And
He knocked you out?
That's how it all got started.
What? I knocked you out?
I've never been so excited.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's what was it sexual?
His name was Yahin.
How old were you when this
Another
happened?
Haitian guy?
No, I don't know what.
How old were you when this happened?
Same. It was the same year.
9 years old?
Yeah.
12.
Or 12. It was 9.
Guessing it wasn't sexual.
9, 10.
Well, why did this guy knock you out?
Because Mama said. How old was he?
I told on him in class.
No, what's stupid?
Oh, shit.
Because I was trying to get his attention.
See, he was right.
But I was trying to get his attention. I had a crush on him, and I thought, you know.
got it. Mission
accomplished. He followed me home, and he knocked me.
You thought it was to kiss you or something like that?
He followed you home and took a hit out on you?
He followed me home, and he just.
Hold on. What did you tell
say
back
to him?
up?
Yeah,
Back up. What did you tell him?
Wait, I love the whole walk. I feel like Marina's like kind of glancing over her shoulder, probably going like he's following him, and he's just walking. He's walking like a mission, like. He's like, there's just two different songs playing in their head.
She's like,
Marina's
ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Marina's like, didn't I blow your mind? He's walking like, yeah, slam.
My mom's playing tricks on me.
I was like so wrong.
Hold on. What did you tell on him for? What did he do?
I can't remember what it was, but I told the teacher, and I just thought we used to tease each other in class. You know, that flirtatious thing you do with a guy.
Yaheem's a drug dealer. Anyway.
So part of my joke, I was like, I'm going to tell on you. And I thought, you know, and then he followed me home. And
You said he was a drug dealer to your teacher?
No, that was that part. story. That was
Jay is Yahim.
That was his story.
So it was just some dumb shit, some kid shit.
It was some kid shit, but then
This is your life.
I turned around and I don't remember it. I like stumbled.
Right or left?
So you turned around like, Yahim.
I saw stars.
Wow.
And this woman came out from her house. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah.
And that was it. You know, kids.
And did you tell on him?
No, not after that.
You learned your lesson.
I was like,
Learn your lesson.
after that, though, I think it's.
So Yahim won, you nothing.
It's almost like a commercial for hitting chicks. She told on him. He learned her lesson.
The more you know.
If you're gonna hit him, knock him out. Really make him think about it. So think twice before she tells him that move.
It's so funny how the rebound though of that. I was like, I don't remember like really being devastated or brokenhearted.
Because he fucking gave you a concussion.
Well, you're 12. Were you?
The heart
were you mad at him though? Was it like a thing, or did you not even bring it up to people?
First I was really confused because I had stars, but then I was just basically. I think I just moved on. I had that.
I mean, almost like the next day, when you see him.
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't even remember what happened. And I think I just.
You just looked at your feet every time you saw him.
He's still locked up.
Did anybody ever get hit
that lady,
and tell?
That old lady, huh?
Did anybody here ever get hit and tell?
No, I never told.
I never told either.
I think I just let it go.
We used to fight a lot in elementary school.
It's not going to make it not get hit anymore.
Oh, I told on someone literally my first day at public school. I went to like private school and then to public school, and I was just not.
It's way different.
It was just literally the first day I was so unprepared for how different it was.
The kid's name was also Yahim.
Public school principal.
Yeah.
Great
It was
name,
spelled way differently.
No, this kid was he had Marina Franklin's blood on his face.
I like those black Zionists.
Y apostrophe AKH.
I like Dave comes from a private school and he's like public school principal.
I swear to God.
That kid Matthew got dirt all over my blazer. He's still wearing a blazer.
I couldn't. I swear.
You know you don't have to wear that, right?
First day, and this kid.
We don't have a dress
He was
code.
this fat Mexican kid named Jose. And he goes,
his name wasn't Jose Div, he was just being racist.
I was like, hey, what's up, Jose? Wow, all of a sudden this guy had a problem with me.
What's up? Want to switch my sandwich for your tacos? I bet you have tacos.
Jose, give me your tacos. He was like, my name's Brian.
And I don't have tacos.
Deal is 2 tacos for 1 muffin.
I hate tacos.
Como es taco time, motherfucker.
But it really was exactly what you're painting. It couldn't have been more than my unpreparedness. From he goes, I'm going to beat you up in the boys' bathroom after lunch.
Like, well, bring your tacos because I'm going to be hungry after.
You're going to treat me like a pinata, you fucking...
You know what, Jose? I'm actually going to farm this work out. You beat yourself up. I'll give you $10.
That's for you.
I was actually, I'll tell you this. I confidently told the teacher and got a real lesson in what it was going to be like to be at public school in day one. I very confidently
told before.
No. He was like, oh, when we get, I'm going to beat you up in the boys' bathroom later. And I was like,
I'm going to fuck your mom behind a Home Depot.
Like, well, I can hold it for a long time.
You actually went to the boys' bathroom?
No. He threatened me with this, and I was like, okay, well, the joke's on you because I'm going to tell a teacher, and then we'll see who has the last laugh.
Threatened by
and I went right to the teacher and was like, Jose says he's going to beat me up in the boys' bathroom.
Teacher smacked you right in the face.
She was just like, get in line. Like, she just couldn't have been more dismissive. Like, it was just like, get in line.
That's what Jose does.
It was like a mandatory bathroom. Like, you had to go to the bathroom.
Mandatory beat up.
It was like, look, I don't care if you have to go to the bathroom. Boys go after lunch. Everyone goes to the bathroom.
You're the firing squad.
So they literally just send you in there, like, deal with it. And I was like, oh, well, whatever reason, they didn't beat me up, but they jumped some other kid in there. So that was like my first experience. I didn't get beat up.
They were warming up for
like
you.
when God admonished Sarah for doing the
That's
same
how
thing
Joe
Abraham
Schmo
did.
you look?
I think someone else just fucked up. Someone else just fucked up worse.
Oh, really?
I think on the line to the bathroom, and that took the heat off me. But then I never actually had to fight in that bathroom. But that was like a first day, like just. And then I never
just punching another white guy in the stomach. I'm not fucking Mexican, Holmes.
I don't know. I don't really, like you said, it's a little spotty, my memory.
Yeah,
maybe we had problems later,
happens.
but I remember that day, and I didn't get fucked up that day.
Ari, I've only heard
Guess 107, son.
For you being a guy that I wouldn't picture being a fighter, the only story of you fighting I know is you just beating up a Chinese boy a lot.
Yeah, beating up Bobby Lee. So easy to beat up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
he goes
easy
down.
to beat up.
So he's like like what's that potato bug?
Wait a minute, you got into a fight with him as comics, like adult
as comics, yeah, like 5.
How is that possible?
Easy.
Well, you both start doing comedy, and then you fight one day.
Someone's an asshole, and you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, but I've never been into fights with another kind of like a fist
it
fight.
happens a lot.
Let alone an Asian.
I was heartbroken. I told him to stay
Famous
away.
story
A little
is
tiny
Gerald
one, too.
Kelly and Tony Rock, right?
I don't.
There he is.
That one?
There he is. Look how punchable.
Yeah, he's punchable. He looks like one of those stress balls you squeeze in the eyes and the ears.
It looks like if you punch him.
It does.
It looks like if you punch him, like your fist stays like the.
Okay, now imagine if you're mad at that guy and he's doing that face to you, like not taking your anger seriously.
What, me
You're saying,
worry?
"Dude, I don't want to talk to you
Big
ever
Jew
again.
boy.
Stay away from me."
Yeah.
And he's doing that to you.
Come
course
on,
it's a punching.
Ari.
Come on, Jew boy.
Can I just tell you one thing? Can I just tell you one thing? Can I just tell you one thing?
Tell us, Harry.
That's what he was saying.
No, that's what he was saying.
doing.
And you just started wailing on him.
Punched him, and he just went down, so I had to kick him on the ground.
Where'd you kick him?
He left
in the
me no
head?
choice. What? The front of the booth of the comedy.
No, but like
store.
you kicked him in the face on the ground? Or you
No,
kicked him-
like upper chest. Almost got him in the neck once.
Nice.
And you were swinging for the fences.
Like
Yeah,
a
I
punt,
was-
like an extra point, like you were getting under?
after Pesci stabbed that guy, and then they were with a pen, and then they were like roundhouse, like the arms came up for torque.
Is that the angriest?
Twice you fought him?
3 times. Once
Why
I
did you
just
fight him
choked
3 times?
Because he wouldn't respect me. I don't know why I kept doing it.
You wouldn't respect me.
That's a great reason.
That's the answer I've ever heard. I guess he just wouldn't respect me.
You will
What an
show Ari
honest answer.
Shafir his respect.
Man, I don't know. I guess he got me fired from a job
I
once.
will not be disrespected by a young Asian. What? I don't understand this. He didn't respect you? Please explain this to me.
First time was just over a girl, and then he got me fired off a show. He got me fired off some TV show.
How?
He called the guy whose TV show it was, says, "Don't hire Ari."
Wow, are you kidding me?
Why would
Because
you,
the
you guys
punching.
were friends.
Because you beat him up. Because you
I
beat him
put
up
it in
over that
privacy.
girl.
Yeah. And so then I beat him up again.
So it's a domino effect.
Yeah, then I chased him down. I saw him. I was talking to somebody. I was like, "Excuse me 1 second. I have to deal with something." And then I went and chased Bobby. He saw me. He ran away. So I Superman punched him from behind.
Wait, hold on. Can I just want to. So you beat him up, then he ratted on you, and you beat him up again? Marina was smarter than this guy.
Yeah. Then
All
I beat
right.
him up again. I choked him once in between there because he owed me money. And then I beat him up again. I said, "Every time I see you at the Comedy Store, this is going to happen to you."
Oh, there he is.
Wow.
Are you
Oh,
Benny Blanco?
that's after the eye punches, I guess.
Yeah.
Ari,
He's all shut down.
You gave him a face rake.
is Ari Benny Blanco from the Bronx?
People had to call me. Rogan had to call me. He was like, "All right, Ari, it was funny a couple times, but you gotta stop."
You got to stop beating
Wait,
up
you
this little
punched him
fucking.
from behind?
Well, he was running away. It wasn't like I caught him off guard. He knew I was coming to punch him, and he chose to give me his back.
I picture
the
like
worst
Shaggy and
defense.
Scooby, like his feet are moving and he's not going anywhere.
Rogan had to tell you to stop doing it like it was a hacky bit.
He was like,
"You're
"You're gonna
look,
get in
all right,
trouble
all right."
now."
You got known for the beating up Bobby Lee.
They say the best defense is an offense, not running away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not running away.
Yeah, you should.
His best defense was only defense, and it was not good. It got
Yeah, it's
beat up
terrible
2
defense.
more times.
He should get beat up for that terrible defense.
He did.
The Anthony Cumia Show.
This is the best of the Gavin McInnes Show.
What happened at this school now? Well, the audio is hard to hear, but it sounded like you said poor people suck at money.
That's pretty much what I said. Yeah, I said that if you are permanently poor in the United States, it's not because you lack money, it's because you suck with money.
And you did use the word suck, right?
I did use the word suck, which is okay. They're teenagers. I mean, if I'd started that word with F, it would still be okay. They're teenagers. I mean, it's a public school. Give me a break.
Right.
So, so I said that poor. Somebody asked why we shouldn't just take money. This is Bernie Sanders. Why we shouldn't just take money from rich people and give it to poor people, and this would help the economy. And I was saying that you can't give poor people money and hope that they're going to become rich because they suck with money, right? That's why they're poor. People who are permanently poor. I said, and I actually went on. I said, people who are temporarily poor can be temporarily poor for a lot of reasons. You're out of work, you're disabled. Like there's a lot of reasons to be temporarily poor. But being permanently poor in the United States, if you're poor for 40 years in the United States, by definition, you suck with money. Okay, unless you're a disabled person, you are a mentally incompetent person. You are legitimately bad with money. And this, of course, set off a bunch of the kids in the back, apparently. Here's apparently what happened, is what the principal said to me after shutting down dismissing the students. He said to me as they're walking out, he said, there are a bunch of kids who are in the back who are from low-income families, and they were offended and upset. And so I had to protect them. I said, protect them from what? And he said, protect their feelings. They were offended. I said, well, you're not doing any favors to kids by coddling their feelings. There's still such a thing called reality. And whether I tell them their parents are bad with money or the world tells them they're bad with money, their parents, if they're poor for 30 years, are bad with money, and they might not want to take mom's advice on balancing the checkbook.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Morgan Spurlock used to have a reality show. I think it was on Showtime called 30 Days. And he said, I'm going to try to be working class. And hey, I think he was hoping for a Barbara Ehrenreich nickel and dime scenario where it just becomes physically impossible. But he was working these shitty jobs, and he ended up making pretty good money. Now, he blew it when his girlfriend got a UTI and spent like $1,500 having it checked out instead of getting some cranberry pills. But you're watching the thing going, yeah, I mean, $15 an hour, $10 an hour, it adds up.
Well, here's the thing. The Brookings Institute, which is a leftist institute, Brookings has said that there are really only 3 things that you need to do to avoid being permanently poor in the United States. And I told this to the students also. I said, this is why you should get your crap together, basically. All you have to do is, 1, graduate high school, which in America means that you have to have an IQ above 70 to graduate high school. Number 2, it means that you have to not have babies out of wedlock, right? You have to be married before you have babies. And number 3, you have to hold a job. If you do those 3 things, you will not be permanently poor in the United States. But this, of course, was insulting to all these kids who assume that they are the hardest workers and everybody deserves to be Bill Gates. And the reason this stuff is important is because if you don't tell people that sometimes people are poor because they make bad decisions, then they assume that they're poor because they've been exploited by somebody, and therefore they get to steal your money. And this, I have to tell you, this was sort of the pattern throughout the entire speech. It did not give me a lot of hope for future generations. There's one point where I was talking about the mythical wage gap, the gender gap with regard to wage, which I know you've talked about extensively, Gavin.
Yes.
And I said to these girls, I said, girls out there who you think that there's a big obstacle in your way because you're a woman, this is absolute nonsense. And I explained all the statistics, and they started hissing. I mean, you could actually hear the rumble go through the crowd. And I was thinking, first of all, you're a bunch of 14-year-old girls. You're living off of mommy and daddy. None of you have a job. And yet you're sitting there and you're already assuming that the world is stacked against you in some way because you have a vagina. And I'm sorry, the world is not stacked against you because you have a vagina. You make certain decisions in your life, and those decisions have consequences. And this is speaking as a guy we have a nanny because my wife wanted to go to medical school, and she's about to graduate from UCLA Medical School. When we had our first baby, my wife took a year off because she wanted to spend time with the baby. I took 4 days off before I went back to work.
Right.
It's pretty typical, right? But the thing is, for the left, that reality cannot intrude on their feeling space. And their feeling space is now everywhere. It's not like it's confined. Feeling space is everywhere and everything. And if their feelings are stepped on by fact, then the fact has to be thrown under the bus and the kids have to be dismissed so that they don't have to hear about realities that, by the way, would make their world better. Here's the thing about all these kids who are offended. If all they learned from me is that your parents are bad with money, so maybe I shouldn't do what they do, they would have learned something valuable if they are growing up in a permanently low-income home living off a welfare check.
Yeah, that's why I'm so libertarian on all these issues, because I believe in freedom of speech. And when this information's out there, it's empowering. The way the left goes to black people, you're suffering, you're all in jail because the world hates you, so don't even try. It is crippling. It's like saying to George Costanza, you know why you're not in the NBA? Because of racism. You're an awesome basketball player, and you should be there playing LeBron James, but because of prejudice, you'll never make it. And it's not an empowering way to think.
No, in fact, it puts them behind the 8 ball permanently. I actually gave that exact example. I said, I'm not in the NBA because I'm a 5'9" Jewish guy who can't jump. I also have no jumper. And that's not because the NBA is racist or anti-Semitic. It's because the NBA features people who are very good at their skill positions. What was amazing is that one of the teachers then got up and started a 3-4-minute diatribe about how life should be like the NBA. The NBA has forced competition and income redistribution. I said, right, because the consumers want to see the competition. But I'm not interested in seeing the competition between Apple and Windows. All I'm interested in is which product is best. I don't care that the competition is evenly stacked. This is why I was ticked off when the government broke up Microsoft. It turned what was a cheaper and better product into a worse and more expensive product for the sake of supposedly making for better competition. There was no monopoly, but this is what folks on the left do. They have to find some excuse, and this really is all that it is, some excuse for why it's morally okay to steal your money. That's really all this is. It's just jealousy and hatred of people who are successful, and thus we have to take them down a peg, and then we make the moral excuse later. We just decide, on the back end, what it is that makes us feel good for having stolen people's money that doesn't belong to us.
Yeah, this obsession with meddling with people's lives, you must dislike these people if you want to meddle with their lives. I want to leave everyone alone.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think that it's just they love themselves more than other people. They don't even think of it as actively disliking people, although they certainly actively dislike the rich. They want to eat the rich. But, beyond that, I'll tell you, I actively dislike these people because they're effing with my life. I'm not interested in you being in my life. I said this at Mizzou, and it still holds true. If you're not my wife and you're not my baby, I do not give 2 damns about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Truth is truth. And if we're not able to speak the truth because it hurts your feelings, then you're not a person that I want to spend any time with, and you're certainly not a person I want governing my country. If your feelings are supposed to govern my reality, then we're no longer living in a shared space, right? You talk about an unsafe space. An unsafe space is one where you impose your own subjective reality on me simply because you believe that it makes you feel good. That's unsafe. That's actually fascistic.
Well, I think this was a very disturbing interview because this is the first we've learned you don't care about your parents' or grandparents' feelings. You don't care about your booby? What do you Jews call your grandmother? Your booba?
Yeah, my bubby and Zadie. Yeah, I care about my parents. My grandparents are on their own.
Yeah, well, that's why gravestones, the letters wear off so quickly. They'll only be maybe 80 years old and they're illegible because no one cares about their great-grandparents' grave.
No, nobody's going and polishing the grave. Beyond a couple of generations, you're basically done. You know, you recognize that your reality ended with the last person who was 10 years old when you died.
Exactly. No, but just to sum it up here, it's all about nature and nurture, and should we enforce equality, should we not? I don't have I haven't talked to God about this. I don't have it carved in stone. So I'm not positive that nature isn't nature beats nurture. But the beauty of this sort of libertarian freedom of individual politics is we aren't enforcing anything on anyone. If we're wrong, then we didn't fuck with your life.
Well,
but with the left, if they're wrong, they're fucking with our lives.
That's totally right. And this is why one of the things that I say about gay marriage, I'm anti-gay marriage personally, but I really don't want the government involved on it on any level because the government sucks at everything, including forwarding the institution of marriage. But what I've said to gay people who ask me, oh, you're anti-gay marriage, I find that so insulting. I say, well, you don't have to care what I think. Welcome to America, where I can think what I want, and you think what you want. You don't have to care what I think. The difference is that you are trying to force me to care what you think by using the government to cram down your opinion on me. And that's what's incredible about this. This is why, as soon as this incident ended, I immediately turned to the kids who remained after the ones left, and I said, you know, this would all be very different if I were a paid employee of the state of California. Then I could force you to sit here and listen to my political diatribes all year round.
Well, in a way, it was a perfect result. We had a woman here yesterday who was fired, an American history teacher, for having George Washington on her wall. And I thought, good, I'm glad you got fired. I'm glad people saw how damaging this is. And I'm glad your talk got shut down. I think the students got an even better lesson than if it wasn't shut down.
I agree. I prefer clarity to agreement, as Dennis Prager is fond of saying, and this is a perfect example of clarity over agreements. Let them be as fascistic and ridiculous as they want. All that does is demonstrate how fascistic and ridiculous they are to the American people.
Exactly. Thank you, Shapiro.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. The Anthony Cumia Show airs live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in glorious high-definition video, exclusively at anthonycumia.com.
Last year, a newborn baby, last week, a newborn baby found abandoned and swaddled in a towel in a nativity scene at a Queens church. And it was a surreal and heartbreaking story. And the mother's reason for leaving her child has been a mystery, but it seems like, I just didn't like it. I don't like the word swaddled.
Never liked that.
It makes it sound like the baby wasn't just dumped and abandoned. I mean, swaddled in a towel. How about wrapped in a dollar store dish rag?
I feel like a manger is sort of a get out of child abuse free card.
Yeah.
Like what seems like the most famous involvement of essentially child abandonment neglect is Jesus, and you get to the next baby, one, which is well, no, that would be a neglect claim. If a child care social worker showed up at a house for an inspection and asked, "Where did you give birth?" and you went, "Next to this fucking donkey," they're absolutely taking your kid away.
There's no room at the inn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so my God, go Airbnb. I mean, there's got to be a neighbor or something. What your first thought is? Okay, the garage.
Everything in Bethlehem had been booked for months. It was Christmas, for Christ's sake. Christmas in Bethlehem. So the 18-year-old woman tells the Post reporter Lorena Mongelli in her native news whore. Do you know her? Do you know that reporter?
What's the name?
Lorena Mongelli.
No.
You do? All right. Why she made the decision. She says this in Spanish. The police have declined, by the way, to press charges for leaving the baby. Yeah, because
manger card.
Because who really gives a shit?
Kind of, yes.
I think.
Also, there is a safe haven law in New York State. There is a safe haven law that that there are certain places you actually can legally abandon a child without being prosecuted.
One of them is a church, right?
One of them is a church. The reason she probably could be charged is you're supposed to tell somebody.
Well, yeah, and
they don't want you just sort of like tossing them in the dumpster next to a hospital and saying safe haven. I mean,
She's
you
not
got
in trouble though. She's fine.
Yeah,
In fact, well, I'll tell her story here in her words. I had just arrived to New York 5 months ago from Mexico, and nobody knew I was pregnant. I didn't even tell the baby's father in Mexico because. My aunt, who is living with me now, still doesn't know. She didn't recognize me from the blurry pictures released to the media last week. Even now, I am too afraid to reveal my identity. See, this is a really close family.
Yeah, clearly.
Throughout the pregnancy, I wore loose-fitting clothes, but I didn't really gain much weight. A custodian discovered the baby at the Queen's Church. I gained only 10 pounds, so nobody ever noticed. I never got any medical attention and checkups because, Mexican. I was extremely scared when I suddenly went into labor last week alone in my house. I must have been in excruciating pain for over 2 hours. At some point, I just knew I needed to get the baby out. I started pushing because every time I pushed, the pain would go away. That's like nature's way of telling you how to do that, right? How to push. I pushed for 15 minutes until the baby finally came out. It was a boy. But he didn't cry until later, so I really had no idea whether he was okay. I was too scared to cut the umbilical cord, so I left it on. She took it really well, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, first off, only 2.5 hours of labor is that's extraordinary.
I had more traumatic bowel movements. Right. But I took him to the same place, too. Safe haven. She says, I picked him up and carried him out the door with the cord still dangling.
Ew.
I didn't have any baby clothes for him, but I needed to take him someplace safe. I knew if I left him in God's hands, he would be okay. I think we can say, there's a very thin line between having faith and just not really giving a shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold outside, she said, and on the way there, I noticed his lips were turning purple. I thought, I don't want him to die. He must be cold. I went to the first store I found. I bought a towel to wrap him in. His lips are turning purple. I'll wrap him in a towel instead of naked. Rushed into the church, left him in the manger. He was crying. I knew
She cut the umbilical cord yet?
No.
I mean, don't you love a bodega in New York City? Woman walks in, essentially with the baby still attached. I need a towel. Hey, get her a towel. They'll be $3.99. Don't drip.
Let the bodega store cat gnaw on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That old mangy cat that's in every bodega.
What was that? Woman with the baby dangling out of her.
Oh, boy. Well, good thing. See, she left it. She said, I knew the priest would find him. And somebody would help. Good thing the priest didn't find him, huh? Be like, my prayers have been answered.
Priest just sits there going, sometimes you work for it. Sometimes it just walks up to you.
I went back the next day just to make sure, just like an episode of Columbo, this released from the hospital this week. I haven't seen him. This is what she says. I know it'll be hard to see. The baby's out of the hospital this week, and she hasn't seen him. I know it'll be hard to see him right now because I'm still thinking about whether I'm going to keep him. I haven't decided yet, but it's a possibility.
That's her decision at this point?
Yeah, somehow.
Just ditching it at various holiday displays?
Yeah. Ditching it among the plastic things you can buy at Target?
Yeah. She says, I'd say abandoning your baby was the kindest thing you could do. It sounds like she needs to see a lawyer. I bet what it is she needs to see a lawyer, and this is my question, and find out if an anchor baby works if you don't keep it.
And the answer is no.
No?
No, absolutely not. Although this kid's got a great immigration claim. It was born here.
Yeah.
But even if it hadn't, it would be an excellent abandoned child. No, she's obviously, as the Mexicans say, loco. If she thinks she's going to get this child back, it's that one. That's the universal way to say loco.
Well, she says I would love to be a mom one day, but right now I don't feel I'm ready. Well, we agree. I don't know when the right time would be, but I do need a stable job first.
And you need a few more towels.
Maybe get a stable job before you get knocked up next time.
Literally, Mexican, a stable job. She could clean up. I knew a lot of back in California.
By the way, we have a murderer who tried to save a baby by cutting it out of a mother. A baby-obsessed Bronx woman who stabbed an expectant mom to death claims she killed her former pal in self-defense and cut the baby from her belly to save the newborn's life. The accused killer's defense emerged on Saturday along with bizarre details of her fascination with babies and the grisly details of the savage murder. Wade claimed that Sutton lunged at her with a knife. This is a great story.
Yes.
Lunged at me with a knife, she said, but she wrestled it away and jammed it into the pregnant woman's neck. Because as pregnant women, they get grouchy. And they just...
Also known as being really quick and agile.
Easily disarmed in this case. She then cut open the Sutton's stomach to save the unborn child. That is some quick thinking.
Yeah, I also think that right now Charles Manson's defense attorney is sitting there going, shit! Should have thought of that.
That's a good one. You see, OJ was just trying to save Nicole. She was choking on a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
Get it out quickly.
Then it melted. We'll never know.
Yeah.
You can't even tell what flavor it was.
Shame.
Her attorney on this, I think, is Bob Gottlieb, right?
Ashley Wade. Yeah, if you say so.
I think so. I think it's Bob. I got to compliment him on this one. This is really, it's like, I feel like he's at that point in his career where he's got enough profile and is sitting there going, hey, you know what? She's fucked. Let's roll the dice. See if this works. Self-defense. Self-defense from a pregnant woman. Then I had to save the baby. I'm going to double down on the self-defense. I mean, that's what the Mexicans say is cojones. I'm getting good with this.
I like this. It's like Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, it's. I speak it almost as well as Bloomberg.
Almost. Ashley Wade, 22, sitting on the stoop of her building, her hands dripping with blood after the knife attack. She told cops she stabbed Angelique Sutton, quote, as many times as she could.
that negates the self-defense a bit.
I just lost my fucking mind. I mean, self-defense. She'd been stabbed repeatedly in her neck, body, had a deep gash across her stomach, and the baby's placenta was found on the bathroom floor, and the bloody knife that was used in the killing found nearby. Both mother and baby rushed to the hospital, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, I just thought it was a great defense. What could you think of anything that would rival that?
No, I mean, that's a really, really good one. That is, I mean, it's I don't think it'll work.
Late term abortion?
Yeah, I mean, which is illegal.
Yeah.
It's actually more illegal than cutting a baby out to save it, ironically, under the law.
Choice, pal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this one, I mean, I would have gone with
and
insanity.
run to a manger and dropped it into that. It'd be like trying to get it to God.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Now we're talking uncensored. If you like what you hear, visit AnthonyCumia.com for subscription information and show details. And never miss a minute of fully archived shows available at any time in streaming HD video or audio download.
Brought to you by DeepDiscount.com. Check out their Christmas sale going on right now and make sure you enter the code Cumia at checkout for your 10% off.